Today I'm going to be looking at some computer glasses by a company called Eyekepper. The purpose of these are twofold. Firstly, they have a little bit of a diopter or magnification to help bring a computer screen a little close to your eyes and thus reduce the amount of eye strain. The second purpose is that it has a little bit of an orange tint. So the idea here is that they reduce the amount of blue light going to your eyes, and this is typically associated with disrupting something called your circadian rhythm, and this helps regulate your sleep. So in theory, by wearing these throughout the day, it should improve your sleep. So first off, I've got to say I bought these when I found out about the whole blue light thing potentially affecting your sleep pattern, and I wanted to see if getting these would affect my sleep and improve things. But the other reason is purely because these were one of the cheapest options on the market. In fact, for £6.50, not only do you get the glasses, but you get yourself a pretty nice case and cleaning cloth too, plus delivery. So it's a pretty economical way to test the waters. But the thing is, I've got to say I'm not really a fan of the ones with the diopter because it's not really a global magnification. In fact, the corners are a little softer or a little less magnification, so everything feels a little bit warped. In fact, wearing these a little too long kind of makes me feel a bit uneasy. And I've got to say I'm not the only one. I showed my colleague and he barely had them on for about 10 seconds before he had to chuck them off. So what I'm going to do is swap these over. Now, luckily Eyekepper do the exact same ones without the diopter. And you know what? These are pretty nice. I can wear these all day quite happily. In fact, actually, that's one of the things I want to mention about them. For, once again, £6.50, you get something which is really well built. It's got proper sprung hinges, which some manufacturers don't do. Hawkers. Yeah, check out my other video. They really rip you off on those. But yeah, these are really nicely built. And I've got to say I'm pretty impressed. So let's talk about the orange tint. Well, I'm afraid to say that I don't have any technology to measure the specific wavelengths that make it for the lenses. I can quite happily say that by having an orange tint, it will reduce the amount of blue light that makes it through. I'm just not particularly sure on what spectrum this might be. Now, the other thing I'm not 100% sure on is the science behind the whole blue light thing. But from what I understand is that blue light is similar to that of UV, and this is something that we experience in the daytime. So it's no doubt that our mind gets a little bit confused when it sees blue light late at night. It probably still thinks it's the middle of the day. And this blue light is emitted from pretty much anything that has a digital screen, so it could be your mobile phone, TV, monitor, whatever it may be. Now, I know that there's not only a screen next to this camera here, but I'm going to be editing on a computer later and probably will look at YouTube or Netflix, something like that. And do you know what? You can't reduce this or take it away from a modern lifestyle, so I'm not going to suggest that. But what I will say is that these are quite a nice solution to the problem of getting too much blue light. Now, I found out that these don't, I'm afraid to say, solve my insomnia full stop, but they do make it easier to fall asleep, and that is pretty impressive. You know, it was definitely something that wasn't expected. So if I'm doing a late night editing session or whatever it may be, then I found out that I fall asleep pretty quickly afterwards. But if I wasn't wearing these, then I'd probably be staring at the ceiling for a couple of hours with my mind absolutely racing. So I've got to say that's pretty impressive. But on a completely other note, I've got to say I quite like wearing glasses. I think they make me look a little bit smarter than I actually am. So, do you know what? I probably won't turn full hipster and start wearing these around town. But around the house, yeah, I'm fine with that. I was hoping to wrap up this review pretty quickly, but nonetheless I think there are a couple of points that are worth mentioning. Firstly, these are supposed to be anti-UV, which is a pretty nice thing because UV can damage your eyesight. The problem is that I don't know to what extent the UV protection is because, as far as I know, pretty much all polycarbonate lenses or plastic lenses will filter out UV, so I'm not sure if this is just some sort of marketing technique. The other thing is these have some sort of anti-fog and anti-glare coating, and you can probably just about see it there. And you know what, the anti-fog is pretty good because I've done the typical thing of having a hot drink, and you know what, the glasses fog up, but they're completely clear within about 20 or 30 seconds, and that's pretty good, I think. The problem is really with the anti-glare coating. Now, as far as I'm concerned, this is pretty much useless, because if I'm using this at work and we have some bright lights on the ceiling or there's a bit of a bright light from the window coming in, these completely glaze over and you can't really see too much, which is really quite frustrating. I'm not sure if this is the same with lots of glasses or maybe just the cheaper ones, but I can't help feel that I want to try out a different model now, purely for the fact that these have terrible anti-glare and anti-reflective coatings. I just remember when I was buying these glasses off the Eyekepper website, it was incredibly slow. It took me around about 10 or 15 minutes of going through pages timing out and various error messages, and the only reason why I persevered is because I had a voucher code that made these £6.50. But I can totally understand why you might want to go through a sort of quicker process, and you can do if you go through eBay or Amazon. The only problem is that they have a smaller selection and they're around about twice as much as you'd pay on the Eyekepper website. Thing is, this puts it probably more in the territory of other brands out there that I might want to try in preference to this. Once again, these glasses definitely help me fall asleep. They might not solve all my sleep problems, but it's definitely a welcome addition when I'm doing editing late at night on the computer and I want to fall asleep a little bit quicker. Because I know if I don't use these, it feels like my mind is racing, but my body feels tired. So there's clearly a difference there. The thing is though, now I've tried these, I kind of want to go on to the next step, and that means spend a little bit more money. But the thing is, I think there are a few things that let us down. Firstly, it's the anti-glare coating or anti-reflective coating, because if I'm using these at work, then I find that any strong light from the side or even the ceiling lights, they completely glaze over and they're kind of useless. So I'm hoping that other models won't have this problem. The other thing that I kind of forgot to mention is that the sharpness is a little bit reduced to what you normally see with your eyesight, so I find this a bit annoying. I've shown this to other people and they don't seem to have the same problem, so it's probably me just being picky, but nonetheless I kind of want to try out the other models now. Anyway, if you want to see if computer glasses work for you, then I think for sort of the £6.50 to £8 mark, you know, you've got yourself a pretty good bargain there. And who knows, they might help you sleep a lot better than me. I think I'm going to carry on the theme of trying to improve my sleep in future videos. So if you'd like to see more, then please do subscribe. However, if you'd like to leave me a comment and let me know what you think of this video, or indeed how I might be able to improve my sleep or other videos in the future, then please do let me know, and I'll catch you later.